Hey guys, today I'm going to be repotting and providing some care tips for, you guessed it, this my beautiful Rhaphidophora Decursiva. Now, I had run a little bit of a community poll on my YouTube page, and I have a bunch of plants that need to be repotted, but you guys wanted to see this first, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I love my Rhaphidophora Decursiva, and as you know, there's a little bit of a backstory and drama to it. This is actually one of two of these types of houseplants that I have. But if you're interested in the repot and the care tips for this beautiful plant, stay tuned. Alright guys, so like I mentioned in the intro, I do have two Rhaphidophora Decursivas. This is the second more recent one that I picked up, and there is a whole long story to why I have two, what was going on with the first one, why I felt like I needed to get a second one. Anyways, if you aren't familiar with all of the Rhaphidophora Decursiva drama that I went through and you kind of want to figure that out and check out some of my older videos, not so old, but more recent, but just kind of getting a feel for what all went down, then check out this link right up here. All right, so as you guys probably know, these plants are originally from Southeast Asia. They've become very popular houseplants, and for good reason. They are beautiful, and they're kind of known for their foliage and the fenestrations that they develop and get over time. Now the leaf size and the foliage just gets bigger and bigger with more and more fenestrations. It's kind of like the ultimate dream to start out with one of these kind of small and just watch it grow and get more and more beautiful over time. Now in this video, like I said, I'm going to be repotting this plant, providing all of the, ideal soil mix, the different ingredients you want in there, and all of the ratios and all of that fun stuff. But beyond all of the repotting that I'm going to be doing today, I will also be sharing really important, crucial care tips in terms of lighting, fertilization, watering, and all that good stuff as well. So let's jump into it. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm Tyler, and if you like what you're seeing or you find this video to be useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, or better yet, you can subscribe to my channel. To really show me some love, click on the bell for alerts and notifications for future content. It's greatly appreciated. All right, guys, so before jumping into all of the crucial care tips, like lighting and watering and all of that stuff, I want us to actually start with the repot. Now, before getting into all of the soil composition and mix, which I'm going to kind of create and then give you guys a great idea of what ratios to be using and what those specific ingredients are, there are two really important repot kind of tips or things that you should be really considering and thinking about when it comes to this plant. Now, oftentimes when I'm repotting, I talk about how important it is that the plant needs to be root bound, and you really need to consider the container size. Now for the Rhaphidophora Decursiva, it's a little bit different. You really don't want your Rhaphi to be too root bound, basically, because if that is the case, the leaves can kind of revert back to their juvenile state if it starts to get too root bound. So actually repotting this plant is something that should be done a little bit more frequently and considered, maybe a little bit more thoughtfully. The other really important pro tip when it comes to these houseplants is your new container should be a lot deeper than the nursery container that it's in. Now the reason for this is obviously these roots like to grow and need a little bit more space and less root bound, like I just mentioned. So by providing them that extra little bit of depth, there's somewhere for those roots to grow, and that's downward. All right, so here is the beautiful pot that I'm going to be using. It's terracotta with a glaze on the outside and no glaze on the inside. Love this little saucer at the bottom. Now you can see there is one nice large drainage hole at the bottom. However, I'm gonna start this whole repot with by putting some leca. Those are those terracotta balls at the base of this, just probably an inch or two, just to help with drainage and so that the plant is not sitting in any excess water. So this is a close-up of the leca balls, the terracotta little spheres. Now you can pick up this type of thing at quite a few different places, obviously online as well. I just happened to get these from IKEA, and they're really reasonably priced. So there you go, no sponsorship from them. So guys, this is the soil mix that I'm going to be using, and I've used about 5 parts of this fine or medium coarse bark and about 3 parts of all of the other ingredients, which include cocoa coir, peat moss, and some perlite. All right guys, so with everything ready to go and set up, I need to get this out of its nursery container, and then we can get a first look at the roots and see how well this plant is doing. All right, nice big squeeze, and I think this should come out fairly easily. So let's see. There we go. I'm just making a huge mess. Interesting. All right, let me just tidy this up and then I'll show you the roots on my Rhaphidophora Decursiva. All right, so the roots are actually looking not too bad. In taking this out of the nursery pot, I'm realizing that it's holding onto a lot more moisture than I realized. So, the soil's a little bit moist, even a little bit beyond that. So I've got to kind of reconsider some of the routines that I have and even where it's placed. So I'm going to touch on all of that when I'm talking about all of the crucial care tips. But the roots do look nice and fuzzy and healthy, especially those at the bottom. So yeah, pumped about that. So it's nicely positioned in its new home. Had to put a little bit of the soil mix at the base to lift it up so this was at the right height. And now I just need to go ahead and backfill in some of my new soil mix into this pot. But one thing I kind of want to mention is when I was removing the Rhaphi from its nursery pot that it came in, and as you can see here, that's all of the excess soil mix that it was originally in. There is a ton of slow release fertilizer pearls, which is I always see so many when I get them from the nurseries. What do you guys think about that? Do you see this too? Does this happen to you as well? Should I be putting some of this back in there? I don't really tend to do that, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All right, so I think that worked out quite well. It's potted up really nicely. Now, there's one thing that I never get to say because it's just never the case, and it is true for these plants. Now, what I'm alluding to is the Rhaphidophora Decursiva are not the most prone to pests. So if you love houseplants as much as I do, that should be music to your ears. These plants aren't going to have spider mites, as easily as some of the other houseplants that we all have care for and love. So just an added extra bonus. But I did mention when I was doing the soil that it was a little bit wetter than I would have hoped. And I kind of want to talk about the crucial care conditions, where I had it before and where I might move it to, just because I think I had some things really right and then other things I think I could improve on. So let's jump into all of the crucial care stuff right now. Okay, so let's start with what I think I had right. So in terms of humidity for the Rhaphidophora Decursiva, these plants need really high humidity. We're talking like 60%. Thereabouts, even higher is not going to do this any harm. And this guy lived right beside my humidifier right back there. I've probably seen it in previous videos, and I think that is one of the things that I got right. So I'm going to keep that the same. Now I think I need to kind of switch up some of the other things, including watering and lighting. So let's start with watering. In terms of watering, you guys will want to water this plant when the topsoil is dry to the touch, that top inch or so, and then you can go ahead and give it a watering. And I think I was doing that right, but the problem I think I was having is this was in a position kind of back there. It gets a little bit less light in the winter months, which is now, and these plants need and love really good bright indirect light. So in this new pot, if I put it closer to my south-facing window, but inset a little bit, it's going to get a lot more bright indirect light, which may mean that the sort of tempo and cadence of which I was watering it at might be a lot more appropriate in this new spot. So Go figure. I'm gonna try that out a little bit more light, and with the roots having this extra space at the base of this container because it's deeper, I'm really curious to see if I'm noticing a little bit more growth this upcoming growing season, this upcoming spring and summer. Well, that's it for me. Oh yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or leave a comment, or better yet, hit that subscribe button. Miss you guys already. Until the next one.